everyone, welcome to another insightful episode of Expert Edge series where I bring you insights from the most inspiring and accomplished professionals regarding personal and professional transformation. Now, today I have immense honor of hosting Neeta Singh, who is a certified life coach, international speaker, and an author, 14 plus years in corporate, and she is a self-worth and confidence coach. Now, she has also been trained in thinking into results by Bob Proctor, and all these experiences made her what she is now. So, welcome, Neeta, to my show today.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. It's an honor to be on your show. You have been doing some great work, so it's a great opportunity for me to come here and share my thoughts with you. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much, Neeta, once again. And I would like you to introduce yourself to the audience, how you assist people, and how you can help them going forward.
Okay, so as you very clearly mentioned, I have 14 years of corporate experience, and even though that was a very great, enriching experience that taught me a lot about people management and relationship management, it wasn't really giving me a huge amount of happiness, I would say, because there was something missing. And COVID was another period which taught all of us a lot of lessons. So for me, it taught the lesson that time is limited and life is short, and hence we need to focus on what we want rather than what we do not want. And keeping that into my mind, I started studying more deeper into these subjects. And that's when I finished studying thinking into results. I got certified. I also wrote my book. And once I started doing this work, and when people came back and told me how it created an impact in their life, how their lives changed, that made me feel very wholesome, because you are like a change maker in someone's life, where you are present in their life momentarily, but the results that last in their life are lifelong. So
Yes.
that was really phenomenal for me, and I want to constantly keep experiencing that, and that's why I'm here in this field.
So thank you so much, Neeta. Very nicely explained. Now, I would like you also to share your journey from corporate world to becoming a self-worth and confidence coach. Like there must have been some triggers that provoked you to get into this field.
Yes, a lot of triggers. As the title says, that I am a self-worth and a confidence coach. And I used to always think that I am a very confident person, and that I am someone who is very worthy of things that I really want for myself or that I deserve. And over a period of time, my marriage, my life, just as an individual, and the things that I started experiencing overall, I realized that I am not so great as I think I am. And a lot of situations taught me lessons where I felt that I was just like another decorated item in the house, having no value or worth. So, no amount of education, no amount of things that you have earned for yourself created any difference. I felt it is high time I understand my own value, and it is high time I start establishing boundaries.
Hmm.
And so, keeping that in my mind, I started this journey, and that's where I am today, because I understood self worth and confidence are two different things. Both need to be worked on separately. And it is not something that happens overnight. It is something that starts with awareness and a lot of investment and patience in yourself.
Mhm.
And today I can very confidently say that, I have really worked hard upon myself to be here, to be on your show, to be able to speak for my experiences and how I have transformed myself. So, yes, a lot of lessons. And not just that, also the fact that I lost my brother in COVID was another trigger for me, because I couldn't process the grief. And I just didn't know what to do with the grief. It was really driving me crazy. That was another trigger. And that was one of the biggest reasons for me to channelize that grief into power, because, like I said, I understood the value and worth of life. the value and worth of time. And I also realized how much time we were spending, or I was spending, into things that have either happened in the past or that didn't go the way I wanted, and how much I was constantly cribbing and complaining and consistently driving myself in the past. And I wanted to stop that.
Wow.
And that's when I chose this empowering journey. I worked on myself first, and now I work with others in the same way. Living in the past is the worst thing one can do to oneself. And that's why I'm here as a self-worth and confidence coach. And that's my journey.
Wow, Nita, very nicely explained and very touching story of your brother, what made you who you are today. Now, as you rightly described that there is a difference between self-worth and self-confidence. So my question is, how do you define self-worth and how do you differentiate it with self-confidence?
Okay, confidence, I would say, is very innate. Confidence is a mindset. Confidence is something that you need to work on each day. Just like you go to the gym and you work on your body and strength, train yourself each day. Confidence is something like that. You have to train yourself each day. It doesn't get built, it is not an emotion that you
It's
can
the
just
repetitions.
embrace. Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's the repetition that you have to do constantly each day. Self-worth is something I can describe as how you look at yourself.
Mhm.
Okay. And it is not necessarily just how you look at yourself, it is how you perceive yourself to be. So, your self worth is basically the perception that you have made in your mind about yourself and how you visualize yourself. That is self image. And changing that is very important, because on the outside, on the exterior, I could dress up as someone who is very confident, someone who is the most beautiful woman on earth, and I could have a shattering low self worth within me, on the inside of me.
Correct.
And that's why aligning both the exterior and the interior is very important when it comes to self worth and self image. So that there's a huge difference in that.
Yes, Neeta, very rightly said. You know what? I also explained this to the clients when we talk about when you get up in the morning, your husband, your wife, your family members, anyone can be on the other party. But are you the one voting for yourself every single morning? That's what is the feeling of self-worth. If you love yourself, definitely entire universe is bound to love you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, now my next question is we have come across a lot of people who struggle with self-worth today. So what do you think why there is so much struggle when we talk about corporates also?
Jyoti, for the last few months, I have been dealing with a lot of clients. I've come across a lot of people, and this is what I have understood. I have understood there are three categories of people. Now, the first category of people is who will come to you either in person, or they will come and share whatever is the pain that they have in the group. There will be multiple people who will be giving their opinions, their thoughts. Some will be genuinely helping them. And then that's okay for them. And this will happen after a cycle. So once again, they start feeling low, they'll come and they'll share their thoughts. Someone will come and massage their egos, or give them short-term solutions, and they'll be fine. These kind of people are very stuck in the cycle. They will never be able to come out until they choose to come out. That's the first category of people. The second category of people is that they know that they are in that space, but they don't want to do anything to come out. No matter how much you challenge them, how many solutions you give them, they just choose to stay in that space, and they have literally given up on themselves.
I call them sulking in their own mediocrity.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So that's the second category of people. And then there's the third category of people who know that they are stuck, and who know that there is a lot of knowledge available on the outside. Okay. But they don't know how to implement it. So these are the kind of people who will go and look for coaches or mentors, or who will go out and find a solution that, hell, this is wrong with me. I need to do something about this. Okay. And people, when people stop thinking the investment in terms of money, and they start thinking that this is an investment not just in the form of money, but this investment is coming to me in the form of my personality, the traits that I'm going to work on, the mindset that I'm going to work on, and how it is going to help me shape as a new person. When people will work on that mindset, that's when they will scale, or like we say, we want to be the best version of ourselves. That's when they will be the best version of themselves. So that's the third category of people. So it really depends where, in which category do you fall, and how eager are you to work on yourself.
Yeah, very rightly said. We talk about a lot that everything is available on Chrome, Google, YouTube, everywhere. But knowledge without implementation is just information. And you can have enough information. We have come across a lot of clients who have been talking about, I know this. You raise a topic and they'll say, I know this. And then we ask, where is the implementation? You know a lot of things, but where is the implementation? That's when I would request all of you to come and join Neeta if you are someone who is struggling with self-worth or confidence, or if you know that you know a lot of things, but you are looking for an accountability partner, a mastermind. So Neeta is the person. Now, thank you, Neeta. One thing I would like to ask you is, what do you think? What are the some common myths, as you rightly described about these three categories? But I would like people to know from you, what are the common myths about confidence that you often encounter?
Okay, the common myths that I really encounter is thinking that you can do this without really studying what it is that you're going to do. So let's say, for example, like if I have to go on a platform and speak, okay, now against my title I put international speaker, right? If I am an international speaker, even though with that tag I still need to go ahead and prepare my speech, I have to understand what are the kind of questions that might come back to me and how am I going to answer these. Okay, I have to work on how I'm going to express, what is the kind of tonality I need to use, how is my voice modulation going to go up and down, how is my body language going to show up on the screen, whether it's an in-person talk or whether it's a virtual talk, So I have to figure out all this, prepare myself, and then I have to go on a talk. So that is confidence. But if I just show up thinking that, oh, you are Neeta Singh, you are an international speaker, you don't really need to prep up. And then if I go and if I fumble over there, if I make a fool of myself, if I'm not able to answer something very confidently, then how am I showing up for myself, So confidence is not being foolish about things that you know. Confidence is about being smart about the things that you know and how you prep up and show up for yourself.
Yeah, very rightly said, Neeta. There are a lot of times when we know a lot of things, but when it comes to finally delivering those, we fumble a lot. So that's where the preparation comes into picture. Yes. Yeah. So as we say that your mess is your message, now you talked about thinking and then delivering. Now, I would like you to tell us more about your training on Thinking into Results by Bob Proctor and how it influenced your coaching journey.
My God, first of all, I have to give my gratitude for the opportunity actually to have a chance to work with Bob Proctor. Just a few months before he passed away. So I'm truly grateful that I had that chance. Secondly, Thinking into Results was one of the best programs that I really enrolled into because it taught the power of reframing your subconscious mind and how you can work on changing the mindset. And that really hit me hard, I felt there were certain things that we had to do consistently in a repeated way, to change our mindset. And often when I did my self-reflection in this journey, I realized, like I said, a lot of these years, I was spending cribbing, complaining about people, being unhappy about the situation, looking to blame someone for the situation or whatever is happening currently, And I realized I have wasted so much of time when I could have actually invested that time into doing something much more constructive, you know. And when I actually started implementing these things into my life, when I actually started working on creating that shift into my mindset, I started seeing the changes around me. Okay, so they very rightly say you work on your interior and it shows on your exterior.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you talk, the way you look at the challenges, the way you look at your own life, and how you talk to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that speaks volumes about your training. And I think this training is something that really made me, take my coaching to the next level. So if I was here studying, thinking into results took me here. And I'm glad I took that chance, that opportunity, because it gave me a lot of understanding, also about understanding about the laws of universe, how it works, how you work on aligning yourself. Okay, because a lot of times people say affirmations don't work for me, visual boards don't work for me, and this doesn't work. But why is it that it works for certain people, and why is it that it doesn't work for certain people?
Mm-hmm.
So the importance of aligning, because for a very long time I was really stuck. I really didn't know how do I align myself, and it took me a year. To be very honest, I'll be very, very truthful here. It took me a year to just understand, to work on the power of alignment.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And finally, I've now come to understood how things work, and I'm implementing those, and I would really want people to make use of it, because universe has a lot of abundance for each one of us.
Mm-hmm.
It is just a chance for us to go out there and ask.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. So I was about to ask you about the negative self-talk that a lot of people do. I am stuck in my pattern. My boss is not okay. He is biased, or I'm not getting correct opportunities. One of my friends, he's sulking in the mediocrity from last 11 years, and he is not taking any step and just gripping about the situation that I am not getting jobs outside, so I have to stay here. So that sort of mentality, when we talk about negative self-talk or limiting belief. So yes, truly identified and said, we all have been there, and our mess is our message. Now, how do you help clients break free from these negative self-talks or limiting beliefs?
I'll share the story of my client, okay? And he, being from a vernacular background, he didn't have a very well spoken English. So when I started working with him, he was due for his promotions. And he said, every time I miss out on my promotions because I am not able to communicate well what I have to say, and I'm not able to project my work, the efforts that I put in the right way that can be seen by my bosses, because people who are smarter in the way they communicate tend to, overshadow me. And when we started working together on his, not just on building his confidence, I had to start working on building his self-worth also, because him not being able to communicate well was also bringing down his self-worth, and it was bringing his confidence at a very low level. Okay, and when we started working together, Jyoti, you won't believe, it's been now an year since we have worked together. We have completed our coaching journey together. Till today, he will send me pictures that I got a promotion. And not just that, his company chose to send him for an assignment abroad. So he went abroad and he sent pictures to me. And he was so confident of speaking, so irrespective of how he was talking, he was more confident about how he was conveying the message, So he stopped focusing on the grammatical part of the sentences, and he started focusing on the intent that he was putting out there.
Wow.
So my point being, no matter what your background is, if you choose to take that decision, and if you choose to work on yourself, I think you can do wonders in your own life. So if someone like him, who had very poor communication, low self-worth, low confidence, missing on promotions, not getting assignments that made him go abroad, if he can change his life,
Mhm.
I'm sure anybody can do that. It's just a matter of decision.
Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
Neeta, it is seen in corporates that people have technical skills, but they're
Hmm.
not able to project themselves or do the packaging. And when they go to the HR round or operations round, they like goof up big time.
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
have seen those instances. And when you said overpowering, someone
Hmm.
with more confidence and self-worth are
Hmm.
overpowering them,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, we have seen a lot of people who are feeling stuck. They have the realization, but they are not ready to take that step forward or that leap of faith
Hmm.
because of
Hmm.
low confidence. So,
Hmm.
what advice would you give to someone like that?
Well, I think the only thing that I can tell to such people is to start working on things which you feel you are lacking. So, if you are lacking in terms of communication, find someone with whom you can work, understand how you can communicate your things in a better and assertive way, to your team leaders, to your bosses. Upgrade your skills. I think upgrading your skills is the game, because you can't be sitting with that degree and those marks and that salary and then expect promotions to happen, because the world is very different from what it was in the 90s. So there has been a huge amount of changes. We can see AI coming and changing the scenario completely when it comes to the jobs as well. So if we are going to live in the past with those educational certificates and everything, you can't expect a growth. So embrace the change, upgrade your skills, speak to your supervisors or your team leaders. What are their expectations from you? Learn to communicate in a better way. Invest in your skills and knowledge. I cannot emphasize enough on this. Invest in your skills and knowledge, upgrade, and you will automatically raise your confidence bar.
Mhm. So yeah, it is said that whatever knowledge or information or skills that you had, it took you to this level. Now,
Hmm.
even the top CEOs or HOs or HODs, even they want to grow further, they need
Absolutely.
someone at their back, by their side,
True.
who is a coach, right? So right now, a lot of our viewers feel stuck and they do not have this mindset, do not have this mindset to go ahead and seek for help. It's only because in Indian society, there is a notion that is going on. If you are going to a coach, that means you are facing some sort of mental challenges. It is not like that. You are not going to a psychiatrist or something. So I would like Neeta to emphasize on this particular topic, that we need to break free from this notion, and that is the reason I have started this series, to help you meet amazing people and how you can get in touch with them to seek the transformation.
Jyoti, I just can add to this. Look at the circle that you have around you. So if you are with five successful friends or network, you are for sure going to be the sixth one, because those five people that you are with are not jealous of you, are not envious of you. Okay, and they are welcoming you to be a part of their success club, because they are ready to share what worked with them.
Yeah, not
Okay,
competing with you as well.
exactly, right. So, if you look, or if one looks at the successful people who have had enormous money in their life, they are still looking to learn something to upgrade their skill. Okay, now if money made everyone happy, people would really be very, very happy in their life, or the rich people would really be very happy in their life. But there is a difference between a rich person and a successful person. A
Mhm.
rich, successful person will still be looking for what is it that I can learn, what is it that I can be more better at. So,
Mhm.
that is the mindset one needs to have. So, it has got nothing to do with your investment or with your money, but it has got all to do with your zeal to learn and absorb more to make yourself a better person. If you look at Tiger Woods, I have his example in the book that I was reading. He was one of the best golfers of his time, and still he was one of the richest golfers back then. He really didn't have the need to improve his game. He was winning all the tournaments back then. He was still working on his swing and making it better and better and better. That is what speaks about a person. So even though you are at the peak of your success, you are still having that hunger to learn and grow more, and that is what makes you the person that you are. So depending upon how hungry you are
Mhm.
and how desiring you are of reaching that goal, that is going to decide, how successful or unsuccessful you become.
Correct. And very rightly explained, Neeta. You know what we have seen in corporates when we used to work, even though we were doing very well, you are thriving in your career, but a time comes when there is a monotonousy.
Hmm.
Monotonousy just creeps in, and then
Hmm.
it becomes a BAU. No excitement, no learning opportunity, no skills that is being added to
Hmm.
yourself or to your
Hmm.
resume. And then
Hmm.
after, I have seen a lot of associates who have been talking about 5 years they were in this particular system, they got remuneration, they got monetarily benefited everything,
Hmm.
they got
Hmm.
designation. After 5 years they are not seeing that growth, and then the
Hmm.
complaining part comes, my boss is not good, or this is not good, environment
Hmm.
is not
Hmm.
good.
Hmm.
And I ask them a simple question: from last 5 years till the time you crossed your college degree or your MBA, after that what is one skill that you added to your
Hmm.
resume? And that's when
Right.
there is a pin drop silence. So
Right.
as rightly highlighted by you, there has to be some sort of skill that should be added to your career.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
this is exactly the mindset that we should have, the growth mindset. Now,
Hmm.
I would like you to emphasize more on this in achieving. When we talk about, you talked about rich and successful people. Rich,
Hmm. Hmm.
successful people are different, and rich and successful people are different. So, when we
Absolutely.
talk about the career wise, even if you are thriving in your career, in your
Hmm.
personal life, you may be messing up big time. So,
Hmm.
what role does mindset plays here in taking care of overall work-life balance?
Right. So here I would like to share a story of my ex-boss. I had this wonderful opportunity to work with her, and I truly admire her hunger and desire to grow and learn as a person. She doesn't need to do that. She recently got featured on the Forbes magazine as the Trailblazer Woman. She recently stepped down as the CEO of India First Life Insurance. And she didn't stop there. She didn't choose to take rest. She went and got herself enrolled at Harvard, and she is doing the Leadership Initiative program over there. And even when I was working with her back then, I would always admire this woman because I used to feel that 24 hours are too less. The amount of work she used to do, the way she would handle things, and the way she would balance her personal and professional life, I was always in awe of her actually. And I was always in awe of her mindset because she was always, and she is always, very solution oriented. She's always looking at the good things at people. And there are very few people as your seniors that you come across
Mhm.
and who look upon you as someone who is a contributor to the team. So even if you have a small role to play in the team, you still feel such an important part of that team. So that was something I feel is a true sign of a good leader. And not just that, it uh, inspires me to be like her, because she just never stops learning and growing. Even today she's not doing that. So I think learning never should stop, no matter what your age, no matter what you have achieved.
Mhm.
Adding skills only helps you grow and makes you a better person.
Yeah, wow, that's an incredible story, Neeta. And we all have such person in our life who has been inspiring us, but most of the times that comes towards the later stage, right?
Hmm.
Maybe
Hmm.
when we are 30 plus or 40 plus, we do not identify or realize start of our career, maybe
Hmm.
this or something or the other. So, what is that one piece of advice you wish you would have been given at an early stage of your life?
I wish I had more confidence in me back then. Okay, because when it came to skills, I knew what I was good at that point of time. But I really didn't have the confidence to take a decision on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And back then I just wish I would have come across a mentor or a person or a friend, whoever, who would have just shown me the mirror and spoken about, Neeta, these are the things you are good at, and I'm really confident that you can go ahead and do this. So I wish if I would have had that kind of guidance earlier, things would have been very different for me today, for sure. I know that.
I
But
think
I don't blame
I
anyone.
think that's when the power of clarity comes into picture, and that's how
Yes.
you have a beautiful program that is the power of clarity. Let's talk about this.
Yes. Power of clarity. I think clarity is everything in your life. Like I said, had I had that earlier, I would have been in a different space today. Which also means that that incident made me live a lot of times in the past. So I was constantly blaming myself and complaining and dragging myself down and not looking at the good things that I had within me. And now that I have the clarity about how I want to move ahead, okay, with my life, how I want to move ahead with the people that I work with. So I'm not competing here with anyone. I am not here to work with everyone. I'm only here to work with those people who genuinely connect with me, who are genuinely aligned to work together with me, okay, and who are genuinely interested in improving their own life, who want to enrich their own life. Those are the kind of people I am looking to work with. That's it. So,
Because Neeta, you know
what was the
what?
last?
Even I realize that if I would have known my true calling at the age of 20 or 25, I would have been a different personality altogether by now. But how important it is for people or freshly graduates or the people who are just coming into the industry, how important it is for them to know about their own self, their self-worth, their confidence, and how clarity plays a vital role in their growth and success.
Okay, now there are two ways to look at this. Clarity is definitely important for sure. There are no two ways about it. But sometimes, Jyoti, I feel life takes turns in a way or uh, throws a curveball at us in such a way that even though you have clarity towards your goal, you are unable to do so. So then that clarity doesn't help you, because you might end up asking yourself, I was so clear, I was so precise, I had worked on my goals, and it still didn't happen. Probably because there was something that you had to learn over there, and that's why there was a challenge in your life. So I think there are two ways to look at it. Having clarity definitely gives you an added benefit, but in case, despite having clarity, despite having your goals, if things don't work for you the way you wanted, the desired outcome that you had for yourself, then instead of blaming yourself, look at it that probably there was some learning over there for me. There was something that I had to do or make myself better, or a lesson to be learned, and then you move on. So letting go of what didn't work for you and moving on towards something that you want to restart again is what clarity means to me. So if someone didn't give me confidence back then, probably I wouldn't be sitting here as a coach and wouldn't be chatting with. So my journey would have been very different. So probably this is where I had to be. So I think sometimes you just need to accept things in your life with a pinch of a salt and then learn to let go and move ahead. And that's what I actually cover in the Clarity program as well, because I really want people to live in the present with the limited time that we have in our hands. Okay, whatever 70, 80 years that we have. And I think 50 years of activeness in our lives, it's better we live it to the fullest, the way we want it, instead of dragging ourselves to the past.
Yes, very rightly said, Neeta. When we talk about coming from point A to point Z, what people focus on is they are consistently putting efforts, they are doing something to get the desired result. And after reaching certain point, if they don't get the result, that's where the frustration and anger comes into picture. Because what we do is we focus on the end result, we focus on the outcome. What, as rightly said by you, what we need to focus on, did we give our 100% today?
True.
So, and then accept it if things did not go well. At least you are satisfied in your own way that you did what the best that you could have done. That's the
Yeah,
best.
and Jyoti, also there will be days when you won't be able to give 100%. There will be days when you will be down, you will be feeling low, you will have something that's going on in your mind, and then you will be able to give probably just 30% of, that day to your work.
Mhm.
But the honesty lies that 30% which you are giving for that day, that has to be at par with 100, in the sense that 30% of
Mhm.
effort has to come with so much of wholeheartedness that it is automatically at par with 100%. So it is not necessary that you always have to be here. You can be here.
Mhm.
We are all humans, we all dip down at times, but the idea is not to stay there very long. Be aware, bouncing back to your current reality and moving ahead.
Yes.
That's the game.
Thank you so much, Neeta, for such wonderful insights. Now, there is a very important question that we come across as coaches. We talk a lot about growth, having accountability partner, mastermind, and all. But when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to, I have seen a lot of coaches and a lot of females who are not able to gel up so well, female to female, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they see them as a challenge or as a threat to their success.
Hmm.
So I would like you, since we are good friends, we are amazing friends, we have met a lot of times in Pune as well. And
Right.
there are, you have also highlighted your boss who is a
A
great
woman
personality
boss.
in
Yes, yes.
IDFC. Yes, so you know how to get connected to female and how to be yourself as well
Hmm.
without
Hmm.
a threat.
Hmm.
They're not the threat to us, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I would like to emphasize for our female viewers that don't look for females as threat to your success or a challenge. Rather,
Hmm.
they can be a ladder to your success. So please emphasize on
Absolutely.
this topic.
I feel women who look at other women as threat come from a space of a lot of insecurity and come from a space of low self-worth in their own eyes, which nobody would accept gradually. But for me, it is about, looking at the good things that women around me have. So if, Jyoti, you have a skill that is working well for you, and I will just come and ask you, Jyoti, what is it that you're doing? I really want to know what it is,
Mhm.
because I don't feel threatened by you, or you don't feel threatened by me. But we know that by adding the things that work for us are only going to enrich our life experiences.
Yes, so true.
At the end of the day, Jyoti, there are people who are going to align with you, who will be more wanting to work with you, which is completely fine, right?
Mhm.
And there will be certain people who would be aligned with me and who would want to work with me.
Mhm.
And that is how things work, because if we don't gel each other with each other, where we won't be able to give good results to each other. So I don't see it as a competition or me eating into your clients or someone else's clients, but rather I see it as an opportunity to grow. What has worked well for you, how your marketing skills have improved so much, how come your sales are getting better, what is it that you are doing with your clients.
Mhm.
And when you share your stories of success, you are adding more successful women out there.
Mhm.
And that is true women empowerment. So if you are not going to share what's worked for you, if you are not going to share what made you scale your income or be one of the best coaches in the world, we can't we can't set those kind of examples. So we have to be very secure. So I am very secure in the space that I am. I know that I may not be the best.
Mhm.
There are a lot of coaches out there who are really good at their work, no doubt about it.
Mhm.
But my competition is not with them or with you.
Mhm.
My competition is with me, and I need to ensure the work that I am putting out there has to be the best. That's all that matters. And when you operate from that mindset, you will never have that insecurity or fear that that you will come and take away something from me, or that I will take something away from you.
Mhm.
It comes from a very secure space. So you as a career coach, I know, are doing some fabulous work out there. I see some fabulous uh, conversations happening with other people around, and they themselves are coming from a space where they are doing so good for themselves, right? And that is the kind of work I would also like to do, work with successful women and add more successful women to our group
Yes.
out there.
Wow, Neeta, that's really incredible. And I would like to just highlight one part. When we talk about women empowerment, that's the term that we often use. Women empowerment. So, all the women out there, you need to understand that you are already empowered. It's time to share your success stories or your failure stories, or reach out to someone, even if you are not doing well or you are thriving in your career. You need to have an accountability partner in your life. And having said that, Neeta, I would like you to just let people know how to reach you in case they need any assistance when it comes to their life, when it comes to getting self-confidence, self-worth, clarity, and a lot of other programs that you have. How to reach you?
Wow, okay, so yes, they can reach out to me through LinkedIn. They can send me a DM. I can also give you the details of my other social media handles such as Facebook and Instagram. So they can reach me out there, and whatever is the issue that they're facing, share with all your details, whatever it is that's bothering you or bringing you down, or whatever it is that you want to enhance in your life. It's not always about what's bothering you. Sometimes you just have to enhance your skills.
Yes.
So if it is something about that, yes, go ahead, reach out to me, send me a DM, and I'll be more than happy to connect with you and give you the support in the best possible way that I can.
So thank you so much, Neeta. And definitely, guys, I would be mentioning the LinkedIn and other social media accounts of Neeta in the description section. So just do watch. And Neeta, before we part, I would like you to share one piece of advice for all that people who are watching us. Just one piece of advice that they should follow on a day-to-day basis.
Treat yourself with kindness.
Wow.
That's the best. The way you would want to treat someone else, your loved ones, whoever it is, treat yourself the same way. Start with yourself first. That's it.
Well, thank you so much, Neeta. It was an incredible session with you, and we got to learn. Definitely, all the people who will be watching this will have some or the other takeaways from this particular episode. And thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned for more episodes of Expert Edge series. Until next time, keep growing, keep challenging yourself, and keep breaking boundaries. Thank you so much once again.
Jyoti, thanks so much for giving me this opportunity and that platform to share my thoughts. I'm really happy and grateful that I got this chance and to work with you again. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We will always be together, Neeta. Thanks a lot.